as for being insulting, you have to bear in mind that you're dealing with people with a lack of social skills, you know. Make the connection there. I think other issues we have, you know, a lot of us adults have been through these things as children. We see issues as easy to solve, you know, and we can't understand why things never change. And we're never heard. We can't understand why we're never heard. You know, you look at other disabilities like, you know, broken spines and cripples. You know, deaf people. They all have their communities, and they all have something called "nothing about us without us," and that's where members of the actual disabled group will actually get involved in determining, you know, commenting on treatments, you know, things like that, commenting on things that matter to those people. There's very little of that. You know, I can only think of a handful of people in the autism spectrum community who are actually involved in working out treatments. You know, Professor Temple Grandin is one of these people, and she's starting to comment now that she's not hearing enough good stuff. You know, it's not all about learning social skills for us. You know, sometimes we're not even interested in learning social skills, and we're just interested in pursuing our interests, and that can be a good thing because it builds self-esteem. You know, whereas if you've got somebody who's lacking in social skills, they'll never be someone who's perfect in social skills, and they're quite unlikely to have any self-esteem. You know, as opposed to having something they're good at.